So hi friends, how are you? I hope you are doing well. So in this video we will learn about the React conditional rendering. So there are 4 ways by which we can render our condition based rendering to our React application. So first one is if else. So based on the if else condition we can display our particular sections, like we can display particular button, we can display particular sections. Like the if status is like true, first time like if status is true, then it means that component 1 will be loaded, and if status becomes false, then the component 2 will be loaded. So this is the if else condition by which we can display or hide our particular component view or particular button or any sections. So this is the first way by which we can display our particular section to a React component. And second thing is ternary operator. So by using the ternary operator, we can also display or hide a particular section in our React component. So like this is the ternary operator, this is the question marks, and this is the colon. So based on like if status is true, it means that this component 1 will be loaded, and if status is false, it means that component 2 will be loaded. So this is the ternary operator. So we can use ternary operator as well for displaying the conditional rendering into our React component. And third way is logical AND operator. So logical AND operator means like this is the status. So status value, if the status value is true, it means that we are displaying this component 1. If status 2 is false, then we are not displaying anything, because if the status is true, then we can go ahead. So if initially the status value is true, then we go to ahead, and then we are displaying this component 1. And if the status value is false, then it's like we are not displaying any component here. So this is the third way. Using the logical AND operator, we can display our React component. And fourth way is using the switch case operator. So using the switch case operator, we can also display a particular section into a React component. So like we are using this counter variable here. So if the counter variable, this counter value is 1, it means if the value is 1, then we want to display this component 1. And if the value is 2, it means that we want to display this component 2. And if like accept this 1 and 2, like there are 3, 4, 5, 0, any value, it means that we want to display this component 2. So these are the 4 ways by which we can render a particular section into our React component. So let's go with the example. So I have already created this example here. So these are the 4 ways by which we can display our particular section into our React component. So I have created these 4 methods here. So initially I created this display method 1. So display method 1, and I am using here if else condition. So I am calling this display method 1 on the render of this component. So this method will be called when this component will render, and when this method will call, I am using this if else condition here. So if condition like status is true, we are displaying this login component, and if status is false, then we are displaying this logout component. So initially status value is false, it means that it will display the logout component. We can check here. So like I'm refreshing the page here. So like initially we are displaying the logout component. It's a logout component. If I click on this change status, then if I change the status, then it becomes true, and then it becomes true, we will display this login component. When I click on this change status button, so now status status become true, and login component will be loaded here. So like I create a button here, change status, and on this change status button, I'm setting the state opposite. Like if the status is true, then I'm setting it to false, and if the status is false, then I'm setting it to true. So based on the if else conditions, we can use this if and else condition here. So if the status is true, means we are displaying this login component, and if status is false, then we are want this display this logout component here. So this is the first way by which we can display a particular section or a particular in this we are displaying this particular component here based on the if else condition. So this is the first way, and second way is the ternary operator, using the ternary operator. So using the ternary operator we can also display and hide our component particular section. So now I am calling this method 2 here. So inside method 2 here I put a condition. If status is false, like if status is true, means I want to load this login component here, and if status is false, I want to load this logout component. So this is the second way by which we can display a particular section into a React component. So initially I said the status is false. So if status is false, means I want to load this logout component, and if status become true, I want to load this login component here. Can set here. So initially we are displaying the logout component here. So when I click this change status button, we are loading this login component here. So based on this status, we are displaying a particular section into a React component. So this is the second way by which we can display or hide a particular section into a React component. And third way is logical AND operator. So using the logical AND operator, we can also hide particular section into a React component. So I am calling this method 3 here. So inside the method 3 I am using this AND operator here. So and it means that if status is true, only that condition we are loading this login component. If status is false, then we don't want to display anything. This login component only will be loaded in case of status is false. So if status is in case of status is true, so it means that only if status is true, in that scenario only this login component will be loaded. Otherwise this login component will not loaded. So I am refreshing here. So initially my status is false. That's why we are not displaying any component. We are not displaying any component here. When I click on this change button here, so when I change the status, then we are displaying this login component here. This means only this condition will be executed only this status condition is true. So if status is false, then we don't want to execute these. So this is the third way by which a logical AND operator we can display or hide our particular component or particular section into a React component. And this is the last way using the switch operator. So using the switch operator we can also hide or show a particular section, div, button, anything based on the this switch operator. So this I calling this switch I create a method here, and on component render I am calling this method 4 here. So initially my counter counter value is 0. So counter value is 0 means I am not setting any case here. So I am setting case for 1 and 2. If the case is 1, if the counter value is 1, in that scenario we will load this login component, and if the counter value is 2, then we are displaying the logout component. And otherwise if a 3, 4, 5, 0, 7, 8, 9, anything else out except 1 or 2, this logout component will be loaded. So this is the fourth way by which switch operator we can display or hide a particular div, a particular section, particular component into a React component. So I can comment this button here and create a new button a counter button here. So when I click on this counter button, so initially counter value is 0, and when I click on this counter button I am incrementing by 1. So initially value is 0. That's why we are displaying this logout component, because we are not putting any case here. So that's why this logout component will be loaded. And when I click on this counter button, it becomes 1. So if it runs, then we are displaying the login component. And again, if you click on this counter button 2, it becomes 2. So it becomes 2 means we are displaying the logout component. And if I click like 3 or 4 times, it becomes condition like counter value increment, and we are not putting any case here. That's why only the logout component will be rendered. So we can check here. So initially logout component will render because initially the status of counter value is 0, and we are not putting any case here. That's why this logout component will render. And if I click counter, increment my counter is incremented now. If I click on this counter button, then I increment this counter button. Then it becomes 1, initially 0, then it becomes 1. And if case is 1, then we want to display this login component. That's why this login component is displaying here. And if I again click on this counter button, so it now what happening now, this becomes 2. And in case of 2, we are displaying the logout component. And if I click many times, so it will display the logout component because we are putting the default condition. So inside except these cases, we want to display this default condition will be executed, and this logout component will be loaded. And we can set reset, and then we can click again. So it's now condition is its counter value is 1, and then we are displaying this login component. So these are the 4 ways by which we can display a particular a button login logout button, or particular section on a particular button. We want to hide a particular view, or we want to display a particular section. So we can use these 4 ways by which we can display or hide a particular inside our component, React component. So please like and subscribe my channel, and if you face any issue inside the React, you can comment, or so that I can create a video on that. I will also this code I will push over the link GitHub, so you can also I will put the GitHub URL over the description, so you can check in the description, and you can take a link from this GitHub, and you can check at your end as well. And if you face any issue, so you can ping me, or you can comment over the video, so that I will try to I will try to describe you very well. And please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.